Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Strange. I'm a psychologist, and in today's video we are talking about the psychology of forgiveness. Do you have someone in the past who really hurt you and you find it really difficult to forgive them? Whether it's a family member or some friend from the past who obviously is not a friend anymore, or someone who weren't even related to you or close to you, but for some reason they made something happen that traumatized you for life and you're still unable to let go of what happened. It's very difficult, and I understand that too. When someone traumatizes us deeply, this can be like post-traumatic stress syndrome, where we have those visions from the past, where we still hear their voice, we still see what happened in our mind, those memories that still haunting us. All this is real. And the first thing you can do is to acknowledge your own pain. It's real, it's valid, and nobody can take it away from you. Only when you release it. Why do we need to forgive others anyway? They didn't deserve that, right? But the thing is, forgiving another person, it doesn't mean you justify their behavior and you find reasons for their actions. It's not like that at all. It's more like you acknowledge that what they did perhaps was wrong, totally wrong. You don't give them second chance. You don't invite them to your life. You don't go and talk to them on the phone for hours after that. You don't have to do any of that. What we're trying to do through forgiveness is to release the grip of that emotional burden that you have for all this time. Why do we do it? Because we know from clinical psychology that it's really detrimental to our health, both mental and physical. For example, we have research in positive psychology that shows that forgiving others can reduce blood pressure, lower heart rate, and even improve immune system function. The act of forgiving physically heals the body as well as the mind. Also, what we know is that forgiveness is linked to trauma. Unable to forgive, let go, and move on, it means we are traumatized. We're still traumatized by something what happened. When we say traumas from our past, that would be one of those examples. For example, I had an experience in my life where one of my past friends used the situation of me being vulnerable at the age of 16, 17. There were certain things in my own life where it was so difficult to let go and to forgive the person who hurt me in the past. I mean, from my past life, from the ages of 16, 17, I had certain friends, and I mean quotes friends, they were friends at the time, who betrayed me, used my situation, a vulnerable situation of a girl of when I was 16, got into our apartment, for example, and even stole some possessions, some money which belonged to my father and his business at the time. So it was a big thing, and it was so difficult for me to accept that my own friends did this to me. In fact, I didn't believe it for some time. I thought maybe somebody else got into our apartment, but really it was those friends who were the wrong crowd, so to speak. The friends who were dabbling with drugs at the time, which I didn't really know much about, and so on. But it's a different story, and I will leave it for some other time for a separate video. But the point is, it was very difficult for me to let go and forgive. When I came to Islam, in one of the prayers, I was asking Allah to help me to let go, to release that pain from those years ago. And almost like a voice appeared in my head, and I mean my thought form. But perhaps this is how Allah talks to us sometimes. And that voice said, forgive yourself, and everything will come much easier after that. And I sat down and reflected on this, and I was thinking, oh my God, really? It's not them I need to forgive, because I don't have them in my life for many years. It's myself for trusting someone who betrayed me. I need to forgive myself. Because all those years I was thinking, how could I fall for it? How didn't I recognize the signs? So perhaps in your situation, that would resonate with you too. Sometimes we need to forgive ourselves for certain actions, for trusting certain people in the past. So what can we say from Islamic psychology viewpoint? Well, forgiveness is a big thing in Islam, and actually in every religion, really, or spiritual path. We know that forgiveness leads us to a higher path. For example, Islam teaches that when we forgive others, we are also inviting Allah's mercy upon ourselves. Forgiveness is a means of purifying the heart and strengthening our relationship with Allah. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "The one who does not forgive others will not be forgiven by Allah." Islam teaches us the importance of forgiving ourselves, as we just said. Allah is Al-Ghafur, the all-forgiving. And no matter the mistakes we've made, we are always encouraged to seek Allah's forgiveness and move forward with a clean heart. Forgiveness requires patience, sabr, and humility. It's so easy to hold on to anger, but letting go and trusting in Allah's plan for us allows us to grow spiritually and emotionally. So now you can see that forgiveness is a big thing. But again, now you can ask me, so what should I do right now? How can I forgive? How can I let go? So here are some practical steps from psychology. First of all, don't suppress your emotions. Feel the hurt, but choose to release it. Just consciously choose to release it instead of holding on to it. Secondly, in moments of anger or resentment, turn to Allah in prayer. Ask for strength to forgive and for peace in your heart. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "When you're angry, say, 'O Allah, I seek refuge in you from the evil of my soul.'" Thirdly, remind yourself of Allah's immense mercy and forgiveness. Allah forgives us countless times, so forgiving others becomes a way of reflecting His divine mercy. And then release the burden. Holding on to anger only weighs you down. So practice letting go of grudges through prayer, through dhikr, remembrance of Allah. And also another thing you can do, you can actually write letters to those people from the past that hurt you. Release your anger onto the paper or keyboard, on the screen. And write everything that has built up in you. All these negative emotions, all that resentment, all that frustration and anger. Just tell them everything that you feel. The only key moment is don't send those letters. Eventually you can destroy them, or you can destroy them immediately. The main thing is that you need to release what you bottled up for so many years, and it's sitting inside of you. It's literally eating away your health, and that's what you need to realize why we are forgiving. Not for them, it's for us. You don't have to even tell them that you forgive them, but you need to release that emotional charge that sits in you for such a long time and literally eating you alive. We are all humans. We all trying to heal here. And one of the ways to heal past trauma is to release those emotional events that contribute to those traumatic past, as we call it. Finally, I can say to you that sometimes if you don't want to write anything, if you're not into journaling, you can actually talk it out loud. If you're sitting by yourself in a room, and you can start talking as if that person is in front of you. You can put actually a chair in front of you, and you can start telling to that person, or that invisible person, to the chair, everything that is bottled up in you about how they treated you and how they shouldn't have done it. And you will see that it's also really powerful. You might even cry at some point, or you might scream at some point. Obviously, make sure that it's appropriate space and place to do so. But this is another very powerful method of releasing that hurt and anger and frustration that you have inside. If you're not sure you can do it alone, then you can do this technique with therapists, especially those who are specializing in Gestalt techniques. But really, most psychotherapists, most psychologists will be happy to participate in this exercise that can help you to release those negative emotions. So I hope it was helpful for you. And if it is, please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. And I will see you in one of my next videos.